We're joined by Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller. You are seeking re-election to be even longer.
That's true.
Man, a lot has been involved with agriculture the last couple of days, weeks, and months. A lot of people have been talking about beef prices. Those prices are not as cheap as they used to be. Why is that?
Well, we have a drought. We have lowest cattle numbers we've had in 75 years. So it's a lack of supply. Supply and demand is what's causing it. And we just don't have enough beef. That's a very simple problem. But it's complicated to solve because it takes a while to regrow a beef herd. Unlike when we had high egg prices, a hen can lay an egg every day. And so she can have like 365 chicks every year, but a cow has one calf a year. So it takes a while to rebuild the herd.
I know this week Agriculture Commissioner Brooke Rollins talked about giving more grazing land, federal lands, and you said you were somewhat advocating for that. How will that help? I would assume it doesn't help immediately, but it will help in the long term.
Well, and this was in response. I sent a response to President Trump when he came out and said he wanted to import Argentine beef. I said, well, that's not going to solve the long-range problem. Importing beef in a box doesn't help rebuild our cattle herd. I said, so one of my suggestions was let's open up federal grazing lands so we'll have a place to put our cows in time of drought. We can retain heifers and make more mama cows and regrow the national herd. So they actually did that. We had, in the Biden administration, they canceled all the grazing leases. They were trying to stop greenhouse gases, coming from cow flatulence. And so they run all the cattle off the grazing leases. So Secretary Burgum's going to open up 5 million acres. So that'll during time of drought as we're going through now, that gives us a place to retain those cattle and not have to send them to slaughter. That'll help.
What would your message be to Texans who go to the grocery store? And I mean, inflation has reduced, but prices are still high for kitchen table things. We're
Sure.
Texans, we like steak and all that other stuff. What would be your message?
Well,
to your
hamburger meat's up about 13%. So that's not that bad, but it is up. And Donald Trump made a promise. He was going to bring down the price of eggs. He did. He said he's going to bring down the price of gas and oil. He did. He said he's going to bring down the price of groceries. So even this week, he reduced the tariffs on groceries that we don't grow, like bananas and mangoes and coffee and things like that. So he's reducing the tariff on beef, which should help lower the price. It doesn't mean we're bringing in more beef. We have quotas, and they're maxed out, but it will at least lower the tariff, and hopefully that will be passed on to the consumer.
So is it kind of just a hang in there with us is going to happen
Well,
type thing?
it's going to take till 2027 to rebuild our nation's cattle herd. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. A cow can only have one calf a year, and it's 2 more years before that calf can reproduce. So it's a time consuming to rebuild the herd.
I know you're an elected official. Republicans won big on kitchen table items talking about the economy. While the economy has been improving, some will say it hasn't improved quick enough for them. Do you fear that some of these type of everyday Texan issues could hurt Republicans in 2026?
I don't think so because Donald Trump's holding true on all of his campaign promises. I just saw where the cost of Christmas and turkey dinner is going to be down 25%. That's huge. Compared to this time last year under the Biden administration. So bringing down the cost of groceries is happening. Certain items like beef is not falling as fast as the eggs fell, but overall groceries are coming down. So that's a promise made, promise kept.
From an agricultural standpoint, is beef the only concern, the major concern in Texas and nationwide, in your opinion?
Oh, we've got lots of concerns. We got a lot. My biggest concern is an agriculture trade deficit. America's always been the breadbasket of the world. We grow enough for ourselves and feed a lot of the rest of the world too. But under the previous administration, we ended up buying more food than we export. We've never done that before. We have a $50 billion agriculture trade deficit. We have to turn that around because if we're dependent on a foreign nation to feed us, that's when our freedoms are under the greatest threat, is when we can't feed ourselves. So we have to turn that around.
How would you consider the state of inflation right now in Texas?
I think it's pretty good. I think it's under control. It was runaway under the previous administration. It's much more manageable now. It's more at normal levels.
The tariff talk, and you mentioned the president kind of, some would say backtracking in a way of reducing or withdrawing some tariff threats or tariffs on other countries. Are the tariffs good for the Texas economy? I mean, doesn't that cost just get passed down to the customer?
Actually, the tariffs have been the best thing that's ever happened to Texas agriculture and the consumer. He's talking about giving everyone a $2,000 check because
is that really going to happen?
I think so, to certain people, maybe not everybody, but I think so, and it's it helps us pay down our national debt. So the tariffs have been great for America. There's a few items that prices have, that has been passed on, but for the most part, the American farmer is seeing the benefits of that. Now that the government is opened back up, they're going to put some of that money in the Commodity Credit Corporation. They're going to be able to pay some of those disaster payments, make some of those crop loans that we haven't been able to access so we can plant our crops, buy seed. So it's been really good. In the long term, it's always good. It was in the first Trump administration. When he left, farmers were making more money than they've ever made. And we're just about that breakover point of that happening again.
THC during the regular session and special sessions was a huge topic, consumed a lot of the political talk in the last couple of months of the session. We've interviewed you multiple times during that. Let's first go with when Governor Abbott made an executive order for certain regulations. Did you think that was a good way of trying to make sure that bad actors, bad businesses weren't doing the things that Lieutenant Governor and others have been concerned about?
Well, it was a start. I don't think it was everything that Dan Patrick wanted. I've never been an advocate of recreational marijuana ever. I am a big proponent of medical use. If it'll help somebody with a medical condition, I think we should help those people. What happened on the federal level is much better because it's uniform from state to state. It's a level playing field now. It outlaws the synthetics, and that was the problem. When we implemented our hemp growing rules, those synthetics didn't exist, so the rules didn't apply to them. So it was basically the wild, wild west here in Texas. A seventh grader could buy a THC infused gummies and take it to junior high and hand it out. That wasn't against the law. We don't need that. So this new federal law is going to take care of that.
Do you think that federal law will force thousands of businesses here in Texas to close?
If it remains so, yes, it will. It certainly will. It's not going to be implemented for another year. So I suspect that there will be a lot of wrangling in Congress to make some adjustments to that. I don't know the prediction. I don't know how that's going to come out. It may remain just as it is, or it may change. Time will tell.
There's people in both parties who are either for the current state of being able to buy certain consumable products in Texas and against it. You saw a lot of veteran groups, more on the side of just regulating it better and not all out banning it. Do you think all out ban should be the solution, or do you think regulation should be the solution?
Well, I don't want an all out ban because I want those veterans with PTSD to be able to get treated and get their their medical condition. It helps. I mean, we've got the research now that it helps a lot of ailments. First thing was glaucoma. We know it helps that. We know it helps PTSD. Many other ailments that seizures, epilepsy. So the medical end of it is proven now. We have those facts. I certainly want to keep that aspect of it.
And lastly, so you think Congress may fine-tune it a little bit more since there is some time before it takes effect?
Well, we'll see what they do. The industry will push hard to have it, changed. We'll see whether they're successful or not. Remains to be seen.
And before I let you go, anything that we haven't been talking about or heard about when it comes to agriculture in Texas that you're not seeing on the news?
Eat more beef.
If they can afford it, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Eat more beef.
Gotcha. So, Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.